Do you know about the stock market crash? October 29th, 1929, the New York Stock Exchange crashed. Panic ensued as Wall Street sold 16 million shares in a single day. Billions of dollars were lost and America plunged into the Great Depression. In a drive to aid private relief agencies, October 18th, 1931, President Hoover said, "Time and again, the American people have demonstrated a spiritual quality of generosity. Our country and the world are today involved in more than a financial crisis. This great complex, which we call American life, is builded and alone can survive upon the translation into individual action of that fundamental philosophy announced by the Savior 19 centuries ago. Modern society cannot survive with the defense of Cain, 'Am I my brother's keeper?'" President Hoover stated April 27, 1931, "If, by the grace of God, we have passed the worst of the storm, the future months will be easy. If we shall be called upon to endure more of this period, we must gird ourselves for even greater effort. May God grant to us the spirit and strength to carry through to the end." Herbert Hoover stated at Valley Forge, May 30th, 1931, "If those few thousand men endured that long winter of suffering, what right have we to be of little faith?" President Herbert Hoover told the National Drive Committee for Voluntary Relief Agencies, September 15th, 1932, "Our tasks are definite that we maintain the spiritual impulses in our people for generous giving, in the spirit that each is his brother's keeper. Many a family today is carrying a neighbor family over the trough of this depression, not alone with material aid, but with that encouragement which maintains courage and faith." President Herbert Hoover stated in San Diego, California, September 17th, 1935, "The American system of liberty is based upon certain inalienable freedoms and protections which in no event the government may infringe and which we call the Bill of Rights. They are as clear as the Ten Commandments. Among others, the freedom of worship, freedom of speech and of the press, the right of peaceable assembly, equality before the law. In them lies a spiritual right of men. Behind them is the conception, which is the highest development of the Christian faith, the conception of individual freedom with brotherhood." President Franklin D. Roosevelt stated in his first inaugural address, March 4th, 1933, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. We face our common difficulties. They concern, thank God, only material things. Where there is no vision, the people perish. We face arduous days that lie before us with the clear consciousness of seeking old and precious moral values. In this dedication of a nation, we humbly ask the blessing of God. May He protect each and every one of us." President Franklin Roosevelt told the Federal Council of Churches of Christ, December 6, 1933, "If I were asked to state the great objective which church and state are both demanding for the sake of every man and woman and child in this country, I would say that the great objective is a more abundant life." In his Christmas message, December 24th, 1933, President Franklin D. Roosevelt stated, "This year marks a greater national understanding of the significance in our modern lives of the teachings of Him whose birth we celebrate. To more and more of us, the words, 'Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself,' have taken on a meaning that is showing itself in our daily lives." President Franklin Roosevelt stated on the 400th anniversary of the printing of the English Bible, October 6, 1935, "We cannot read the history of our rise and development as a nation without reckoning the place the Bible has occupied in shaping the advances of the Republic. Its teachings is plowed into the very heart of the race. Where we have been truest and most consistent in obeying its precepts, we have attained the greatest measure of contentment and prosperity." America has a heritage of faith that's unique in world history, and it's important for us to remember this faith and the miracles in American history.